Hey y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Season 13, episode 1 is the premiere episode, and I brought my friend Denver Sean here to join me. Thank you.
Ooh,
This is
no,
like
thank you for having me.
this is a long time coming because Denver loves Beverly Hills just as much
I
as I do.
do. I do. I do. I think it's my favorite franchise still.
I was going to ask you, why is it your favorite franchise?
Well, I think I started watching when I moved to LA, right? So initially, I was just really into seeing the restaurants that were around me and being
Mhm.
so close to everything, which was really fun. Because I used to live in Atlanta and I used to like Atlanta. But now I just think that out of all of these franchises, something about the Beverly Hills drama feels, I don't want to say more authentic, but it's one thing to have drama because of the show, but I
Right,
feel like these ladies have real life drama that they bring to the show.
right.
It's not who said what on camera. It's I'm getting sued. It's I'm leaving my husband. It's real stuff.
Right. Addiction or like
Addiction. Oh man.
my husband is beating me behind the scenes. Pretend like, every
Yo, no. What's crazy is I'm in the middle of a rewatch of Beverly Hills.
yeah.
So my boyfriend and I we just went through seasons 1 through I think we're on 9 right now. And it's really crazy just how heavy those first couple seasons were. We had, Taylor and Russell, we had Kim and Kyle, and then just Kim, and then Brandy. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Brandy wreaked havoc.
I love Brandy still.
Still?
I do. I do.
Okay. All right. Well, we will get into
I
it.
mean, yeah, we'll get into
We have
it.
different opinions, y'all. Like we be going at it sometimes.
We do. We do.
Girl. Before we get into it, do you just want to give them a little background of who you are? Because I mean, I've known you,
Sure.
geez, I've
Let's get
known
this
them
down.
since I lived in Atlanta.
God, I want to say 15 years, not to
Right.
age us, but it's been a really long time.
It's
But yeah,
your
so
evolution, by the way. And like
thank you. I try.
in LA and
I
everything.
try. I try. Yeah. I think when we met, I was still working at Apple, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was at Apple and then moved to LA in 2012 to work with lovebscott.com and B Scott, where I'm senior editor. So I work in celebrity news and entertainment. And I've been doing that for God, 11 years now.
Wow.
Um, I know we've grown, the site's grown. We have a really great relationship with Bravo. And outside of that, I'm just on social media being a menace most days. So,
If y'all familiar with Pop Roast, y'all know me and Alex always goes to Love B Scott for the tea. And y'all's tea is like, legit.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We don't play around. We know too many people connected to, especially the Bravoverse, to where there's really no way for it to be wrong. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And but there are sources both on in front of the camera and behind. So we'll
Y'all be
just say that
knowing some things.
we do, we do.
So did you enjoy this episode?
I did. I did. It wasn't that eventful, but I think that it was a really nice welcome back, if that makes sense. I
Yes.
feel like it gave everybody a fresh start. Everybody kind of got a clean slate. I feel like we kind of put a nice bow on everything from last season. So now I'm excited to see where it goes.
Okay. It was pretty mid, but I was entertained
Yeah.
throughout. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it grace because it's kind of just like a welcome back. We're just getting situated.
Mhm. And I didn't miss Crystal at all.
I was gonna save that a little bit later, but yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead.
No, it's fine, but I don't understand why she on this show. Like she is just as useful as Teddy right now, but anyway,
Wow. Wait, you don't like Teddy? You don't like Teddy?
I despise Teddy.
Yeah, I don't really care for Teddy either, but I think that I wouldn't mind her being in this group right now.
Mm, I don't want to see it. She's like
Okay.
Kyle's minion. I like Kyle still for some reason.
Mhm.
I like her for the show.
I love Kyle for the show, for sure.
What's your favorite tagline?
Oh
This scene.
God. You know what? I think it has to be my girl Erica's. What was it? Having it all is great, but getting it all back, or I don't remember the quote exactly, but
Okay.
I like that narrative. I like that it makes sense with her story.
I like Kyle's actually and Dorit's.
Remind me of Kyle's again.
Kyle's was the rumors, like I've been running from the rumors, but thank goodness I'm like in shape or something like
Oh, in shape. Yeah, that was cute. That
that.
was cute.
And then Dorit, fashion is my language, and I'm like
But
definitely
is it though? Because again, even I'm in this rewatch, and she really didn't start dressing until Erica stepped in front of the camera. So I don't know if that's authentic to Dorit. It might be now,
Okay.
but and then what do you think about crystals?
I was just about to mention Crystals was so dumb. Like, I don't think she realized that she's reading herself.
She read herself, right?
Right. I mean, I get what she was trying to do. She was pointing out
Yeah.
the ladies getting older, but it sounded like she was talking about herself.
Okay, I thought I was like hearing it wrong.
Yeah.
No,
I don't
it's
know
not.
who on her team approved that. Like, let's get into the episode. It started out with Dorit organizing a spiritual retreat led by Eagle Woman. And honestly, I'm tired of the retreats. Like, that is a reality TV gimmick.
Well, I think it started kind of during the pandemic because people had to find things to do outside.
Right.
And then it just kind of became like a ongoing, oh, here's something that we can organize. It's really easy. So everybody just does it.
And the sound baths.
Oh my God. I don't want another sound bath on another franchise from here until 2028 at least. At least.
You're in LA. I mean, have you done the
Yes.
sound baths before?
I have. I've done 2, I think. They don't really work for me. Like something about the way my ADHD is set up. Like they're like, be quiet and think about yourself. I'm sitting there thinking about like what I want to eat. Did I take the dog out? Like it's very hard for me to just zone out, even with the sound. I'm like, can you turn that off? Like they're not my thing.
I'd be thinking about my phone.
Yeah.
Who's texting me? Like my phone isn't on me for more than 10 minutes. I'm gonna notice.
Yeah, I think maybe if I had like an assisted sound bath where I had like an edible and I was like just laid out, that might help.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it looks like most of the ladies, they're seeing each other for the first time for a while. Yeah, and so when they see Erica Jane, they're like, oh, she looks like she lost weight, obviously. And she's lying that she's like, oh, it's hormones. But
well, hold on. Because here's the thing. Well, I'm gonna back you up because when I went to she had a Bedded on Blonde like launch event here in LA. And it was my first time seeing her in public up close in a couple of years. And so she came out, and the first thing I thought was, oh my God, she's so skinny. Her face is so sunken in. She has Ozempic face. Like I was like, Ozempic, 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 like for sure, 100%. And she was frail. And I had seen Sutton out in public. She's always in West Hollywood. And Sutton, like you forget that these are 50-year-old white women. So like Sutton is tiny, like she's itty bitty, and Erica was as small as Sutton, which was shocking to me. So of course I'm like, yeah, Ozempic, whatever. And so then she got on Watch Robbins Live and she was like, hormones, menopause. And I was like, well, I could see that. I could see what she was trying to say, but she didn't say it right. But then after listening to her on Teddy's podcast, where she explained she's on, HRT, she's doing hormone injections and all these things, I was like, okay, that makes sense. So when she says hormonally, I do believe it, just because I do know people here in LA, men and women, who kind of tinker with their hormones and either gain muscle or lose weight or whatever. So it may not be Ozempic by name, but it's definitely along those same vibes.
I just feel like with Erica's history of
lying,
telling the it's just like sometimes I just don't take I take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I feel that. And if it was Ozempic, I mean, I think she would say it. I mean, I would hope she would say it. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, no matter what anybody says about it, people are going to think what they want to think.
So they were in like a circle, I guess, expressing their grievances. And then there was only 2 people that really spoke up. It was first it was Dorit coming at Erica, and then it was Kyle coming at maybe the whole group.
Yeah, everybody.
Because of stuff her sister said, like she didn't want to like hold Renna as well as Erica accountable.
Because she knew they were telling the truth.
Right. But
yeah, that's what it was.
I'm kind of like fuzzy on the whole Kathy thing. I mean, I knew she said it, but I felt like nobody cared that she said it. The audience didn't care.
The audience didn't care. I mean, I think the only people who really cared were Renna and Erica.
Right.
But I think Kyle, knowing her sister, deep down knew everything they were saying is probably 100% true. But Kyle can't really admit that, otherwise she'll face Kathy's wrath. So
Right.
she was trying to do the whole like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Like, leave it alone. And they're like, no, girl. She said all this really fucked up shit.
But with Dorit and Erica, what did you think about that? Because when I first saw Erica at BravoCon trying to like be messy and shit like that, I just thought it was okay. She's trying to like give Dorit a bone so she could come back the next season.
That's what that's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. I thought that they were in cahoots and that they were gonna, feud this season because Dorit's been on the chopping block, I think, for 2 seasons now. And I still don't know if that's not the case. Because even when Dorit came at Erica, like it didn't really feel real. You
Mhm.
get what I'm saying? I don't necessarily buy that they haven't talked about this prior to. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And I don't think that what Erica said is so far out of the realm of possibility, as we've seen in the last couple of days,
Yeah.
that it would have caught Dorit by surprise and that, you know what I mean? Like she wouldn't have been that like upset.
What I did believe though from Dorit was like her shady ass confessionals, like coming at Erica.
Mhm. Yeah, I love the energy.
It made me
Yeah.
think of season 7 Dorit.
You know what? I think that for better or for worse, I think Dorit and Sutton and Garcelle and even Kyle, I think they take social media feedback very seriously. So I do think that Dorit, especially, I think she saw people clamoring for season 7 Dorit, and she was like, okay, let me give them what they want. So I do expect her to be a little more feisty this season. I don't think they're going to give Erica the satisfaction of separating right now,
Right.
but I do think that it's in the cards. And at first, I thought, well, I was hearing that it was mostly because of PK's financial situation. Apparently, it's not as together as people think. And when he went to go do that real estate show for the UK, I think is when they first started to like drift hardcore.
Just noticed like there's a house of cards there, and then with Mauricio
Mhm.
too, I think. Because I feel like all the husbands are like have some type of
So who
scandal.
has who has a husband?
I'm trying to think like, well, the only one left is Crystal's
PK?
husband.
Oh well,
And
yeah.
and I think we all know, I'm not
I
saying,
mean,
but
well,
he
I'm not saying that.
right.
I'm not saying that,
I'm not
but I'm saying that they're selling their house. Well, they were selling their house
uh-huh.
here over the summer, but now they're renting it. I
Uh,
just read like a week ago. And they say like when you start selling the house, it's like the first sign of like, okay, something's going on. But as far as we know, they're still together.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, I was talking about something else, but yeah, I didn't know
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're
that.
talking about. Let me just take a sip on that one because I
Yeah. So Erica then tries to say, well, oh, last year I was getting it from each side, playing the victim, poor me, woe is
yeah.
me. That's why I was lashing out. So then she like apologizes to Dorit. I'm guessing it's water under the bridge right now.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a cop out. Like, yeah, I understand like protecting yourself and having to, say what you want to say and not saying you don't give a fuck. I kind of wish you would have just stood on that instead of using that as an excuse because that and what you said about Dorit and PK, those continents, they don't meet. You know what I mean? I just say what you were saying. Like, you were either you're just being a bitch. She was answering the question. It was a shady question. She gave a shady answer, and I wish she instead of saying that in her confessional, I wish she would have just said that to Dorit. You know what I mean?
Right. And that was pretty much the end of the scene. Like, I just thought it was weird that, I mean, we didn't hear anything from Sutton or Garcelle. We didn't hear anything from Crystal in that scene. That's what I really wanted to bring up. Crystal said hi, and that was the rest. Like, that was it.
Well, that's what happens when you don't have a season to talk about. Like she didn't do anything last season. What did she do? She said the victims like 3 times, and that was kind of it.
And I don't really think she has a friend connection, like a really close one with any of the ladies, in my opinion.
No, and she did it to herself.
Right.
I think she has like this weird kind of like insecure thing, and it gets in her way. But
Mhm.
I'm hoping that when they bring her homegirl, or I guess her ex homegirl, Anna Marie, like they have some connection to like that friend group of people who dumped Crystal as a friend. I'm hoping that starts to like wake her up a little bit.
Oh, so the new black girl was in her friend group.
So I don't know if she was in the friend group, but that whole thing with like you had 14 friends dump you that they were talking about with Crystal, Anna Marie, she knows, I guess, like the 14 friend side, or she's one of them. It's somewhere over there.
Well, damn, she don't come till episode 6, which is like,
Yeah,
what?
I read that today. Is that true? But I mean, I guess that makes sense because again, my rewatch, Catherine, her season didn't come in until like episode 4 or 5. Remember Catherine?
Yes, the one that was connected to
OJ.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
One season wonder.
Yeah, we got a lot of those in Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Next scene was Sutton, and the only thing I got from that scene was Jennifer Tilly needs to be a friend of.
Yes.
I enjoy her a lot. And then Sutton is rich.
Oh my God. I mean, I knew she was rich, but to see it, I
300K
good
a
for
month.
her. Good for her.
What?
Good for her. And now I see why Garcelle befriended her.
Yeah, well, I would take 30 grand a month.
Oh, listen,
Like,
I'd be cool after 13. Hell, anything, really. Honestly.
did you get anything else from that scene?
No, but to your point, I think that Jennifer Tilly would kind of give us what Kathy was giving. So I would like to see more of her because she's funny.
Mm-hmm. The next scene is Erica's therapy session. I'll leave that to you first before I comment on it.
I think it was definitely staged. Not staged in like a we're gonna set this up for the cameras and pretend we're having therapy. But I definitely think the conversation was guided around filming. I think a lot of the issues they talked about were specific to filming because they knew that they were filming. Because I don't buy that it took you a year to have a conversation about empathy. You know, I don't necessarily buy that this is the first time you're sitting down hashing out some of these things. I don't think that her saying empathy, what is that, was really that serious. I think it's more of like a kind of a jovial, like sarcastic kind of thing. But I see social media kind of running with it, and that's fine. They like to do that. Um, but again, like I think that it kind of ties into this episode being like kind of like a fresh start for everybody.
What I will give her is
Go.
no, she's killing the confessional looks.
Oh, for sure. She's gonna do that as long as she has money.
Right. That's my positive for that scene. Again, she's the victim of Tom Girardi. She just keeps
She is the victim of Tom Girardi. I will stand on that hill. Like Erica was not down at Girardi and Keith's counting the books. So if I expect my man to come home with all this money and he's coming home with all this money, am I gonna question where it's coming from? No, I'm not.
Her thing
and I'm gonna get this out. There are a lot of other people down at Girardi and Keith who need to be questioned or need to be held accountable before we get to Erica. It's like Tom's assistant, Tom's VP, the girl in finance, her assistant, the secretary, the other attorney. Like there's a long line of people who are down there moving money around and not noticing things are missing before we get to Erica. That's all I'm saying.
I just think for Erica's case, like you can't play stupid and smart. That's all. Like when she came on, she was just so cunning. She was quick, bad bitch. And now, it's just like, oh, he got
I'm smart enough. No, it's smart enough to know that okay, something might be a little funny. I'm not getting involved. So when shit does hit the fan, I wasn't involved. I don't think that she knew that they were taking money from orphans and widows and burn victims. But even that, like, that's just one out of dozens of cases that they were down there stealing money from.
I mean, it seems like she's almost in the clear, I think, from everything.
Of course. Oh, absolutely.
Good for her. Good for her.
I mean, listen, people's morals lie in different areas. You know what I mean? I would probably turn a blind eye to it if my husband was doing stuff. That's just me. But I'll be like, I don't know. Don't tell me. I don't want. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Thank you for my ring. I don't want to know. So when they come for you, they can leave me alone.
I think I would probably be the informant.
Okay, Monica. Jesus. I mean, I wouldn't do the scam. I wouldn't Jen Shaw. Like, I wouldn't do the crime. But if I knew about it, I'm not saying anything.
No judgments here.
Yeah. That way I can send you your $30,000 a month. and you would take it and not question it.
You put it like that. But moving on. So, I mean, as far as her not knowing what empathy was, it just made me roll my eyes. That's all. I mean, I knew she knew what it was, but I was just like, whatever. So Kyle visiting Dorit, they're having frozen pizza and salad on Hermes plates.
I guess. I mean, sure. But I mean, that's why we watch the show. Like, we want stupid, outlandish, just rich bitch shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's why it's Beverly Hills.
Kyle basically says she's in a place where she's not going to take anyone's shit anymore. Like, this is her storyline now. She's just been taking shit from Kathy, and now she's tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you hang out with a lesbian. You get tough.
Do you think they're together? I think they're together.
I do. I don't know if they're like official, but I think that they have a very special bond.
Special bond, yeah.
A very special bond. I think she might be, I don't want to say too afraid. I think that what Erica is to Tom's scam, Kyle is to being a lesbian. It's like, this is definitely something. I'm not going to acknowledge it because once I acknowledge it, then it becomes real. Does that make sense?
Yes, like she doesn't want to take the leap.
Right. But she knows what she feels. She knows there's an attraction. She knows there's definitely something between them. But as long as I don't say it out loud or don't acknowledge it or don't, interrogate it, I can keep saying, oh, we're just friends. It's nothing, despite, girl, you know damn well something over here is going on.
So also in this scene, like Dorit is implying that PK hasn't really been there for her, especially after her PTSD, after that incident that happened to her. You still think that was sketch? Something happened?
I do. It definitely gives insurance fraud. I mean, I don't want to go into it just because it's last season, but that whole situation doesn't feel real. I don't want to sound insensitive. That's why I struggle. But I don't believe her. And I'll just leave it there.
I'm just skeptical. Like, I'm glad that she's okay, but it's just, I don't know, it don't sound like what the robbers would do.
Yeah. Well, let me back it up. I don't believe the situation. I do think there's a version of this where she probably was terrified because she was thinking that she may have been getting robbed, but I do not think the burglars or the robbers were not hired by PK or someone close to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like I think Dorit's terror might be real. I think the situation might not be. And I don't know to what degree she may not think the same thing.
Right.
I think part of her feels like this was real, it happened to me. I'm terrified. I think part of her also thinks, maybe this might be something my husband did. And I think all of that is contributing to the separation because she knows he has money issues. It's not the first time they've had robbery issues. It's not the first time they've had, a house flood and have to pull an insurance thing. You know what I mean? Like again, like Erica, like once you start to see things kind of percolate, you're kind of like, something ain't really adding up here, but I don't want to know. I think it's very similar.
Yeah, I'm calling it like by the mid-season trailer, I think they're going to be officially separated and headed for divorce.
Do you think it's going to be something they put out together, or do you think PK is going to be caught with the girl and they're going to have to like do it that way?
I think they're going to have like a united front.
I can see that.
So the next scene is Garcelle talking to her boys who are now 15.
Yes.
They're very vocal now.
They are. They are.
So basically they're saying that she hasn't really been there for them. Like she's been working a lot and they've been staying with their dad. I personally kind of saw that scene as them being ungrateful actually, and they're not aware of their privilege that they have. Like their mom is just providing for them.
For sure. And I mean, I think that, I don't know, it's got to be hard because I feel like where they go to school, they're probably in school with a bunch of kids with stay-at-home moms, right? The moms are there all day long. And so they probably look at their mom and they're like, oh, my mom's always gone. So they might just feel away, and they don't really understand. I think they'll understand when they get older what their mom is doing for them. But I think right now, I think they just gotta like, my life is a little bit different than my friends. And so they probably just feel away.
Now, while I appreciate Garcelle in this scene, I'm not sure if you ever heard me use this phrase, but sometimes like this is a frying catfish scene where like I would just be frying catfish in the background while the TV's playing and kind of just like looking back at
it. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Giselle, oh my God, Giselle. I'm glad that, well, I mean, style-wise, not so much, but I'm glad that Garcelle has a story that I guess isn't her dating, and doesn't involve her just asking about somebody else's business. At least Garcelle has something going on at home, at least right now.
And you did say Giselle by mistake, but that just brings up, that kind of reminded me, like some of y'all in the comments, y'all have been saying that Garcelle can kind of fix the styling that she's been doing. And like with the hair and like the fashion, like she could tweak it a bit. Like it's not a disaster like Giselle.
No, it's frustrating because I feel like I see the vision. Like it's almost there. I don't know. Like whereas like Giselle doesn't really have the taste level. I think Garcelle does. It's just the execution always kind of falls short. And I think that she needs gays. She just needs gays. Garcelle just needs some gays to kind of come in and, zhuzh some things up a little bit. And I think she'll be there. Like, I don't think that she's realized that she stepped into like the Housewives arena. I
Hmm.
think she's still on this whole like, I need to be myself and, show up as I show up and not really play the game. But I think she's how many seasons in now? I don't know. But I think she needs to play the game.
Yeah, I think this is like what her, I want to say fourth.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Y'all have corrected me in the comments. Y'all let me.
yeah. It's time for her to just show up because I know she has it in her.
Hmm.
Like she could do it. I just don't think she wants to. It's not her priority, but I think it should be.
Yeah, I mean, her first priority is acting like it should be.
Yes. I mean, and that's fine. But just in terms of this show, like I like her. I love her. I don't know. I don't know what her identity is in this group outside of like trying to pull moments out of people, ghost producing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't like I feel like we're 3 or 4 seasons in, and I still don't feel like I have a good gauge on her personality other than serious. I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know. I can't get a read on it. It's hard.
I love how you carefully choose your words.
Well, because I don't want to ever be like disrespectful, and I don't want to be unintentionally negative. Because I like Garcelle. Like I genuinely enjoy her on the show. I like what she brings to the show. I just like I just I think I just want her to be more of a presence.
Hmm.
I want her to have more moments. Like when I think of like great moments of the show, none of them involve Garcelle.
Ooh,
And I want them to.
that's a good point.
Like the closest thing we got was, her telling Erica that she looks bad all by herself. But even that's like 1 out of 4 seasons. Like, I
Right.
cannot think of it. I can't think of another one.
Yeah. Like, because I could think of like multiple sudden ones.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even Crystal had her whole, bathroom naked, and even that was a moment. You get what I'm saying? Like I use the wrong word in the ugly leather pants. Like, even Crystal has had some like actual moments. I don't think Garcelle has had many in 4 seasons, and I want more. I want more
Oh, so you're that girl. You're that girl. We should,
moment.
right. Sudden, they spent it. I remember that part.
Or what?
Or what? Yeah. Moment. So yeah,
But
man, you made a
but that
really good.
reminds me. But back in my rewatch, did you know that Erica or what to somebody else in like her first season? It was I think it was Catherine. She was like, "Don't talk to me like that," and she said, "Or what?" And I was like, "Oh, is this the introduction of oh what?" I completely missed that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Easter eggs.
yeah. Yeah.
Anywho, moving on to the last scene on Kyle and Mauricio, they're drifting apart. You can just see it. They're basically at a point with each other where they have to schedule sitting down to talk about their schedules.
Yeah, it was interesting this conversation because I feel like Kyle knew what conversation she was about to have with Mauricio. I don't think Mauricio knew what conversation he was about to have with Kyle. Like, I think that, of course, I knew they were filming, but I think Kyle definitely came in there like guns blazing. Like, you don't do this, and you don't know how many tattoos I have, and and I think Mauricio was really caught off guard by her energy.
He looked a little shook.
I think he was like, "No, I don't know how many tattoos you have because we haven't been talking for 3 months. Like, why are we having this conversation right now?" You know what I mean? Like, it was very much that.
And for them to be together for 25 years, at that point, it's just like, we stuck together. We gonna make this an
I mean,
open
that's how I feel. Like, I don't. There has to have been like a pivotal event or something recently that they were like, okay, we're done. Like, there has to be because I feel like 25 years. Like, there's nothing that happens in year 25 that you didn't see at year 4, 7. You know what I mean? Like, if he cheated, okay, I'm sure he probably cheated at year 4. He probably cheated again at year 7 and at year 12. So, what is it about this time that it's like, okay, I'm done. We're separated. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand it.
I personally think they're both having a midlife crisis at the exact same time, especially
You
Kyle.
might be right. You might be right. I didn't even think about it like that, but you might be right. I mean, that definitely makes sense. And I
Yeah.
think now that I think about it, I mean, when they did get together, they were broke and they kind of like built their lives together. And so I think they kind of needed each other and they had all these kids and that worked, very well for a really long time. But now Mauricio has his money, right? And Kyle has her money. And so now they don't really need each other's money. So they can kind of like move and, do things a little bit differently. So I think now that they're less reliant on each other for survival. Maybe they're now looking at each other like, maybe I don't actually like you as much as I thought I did. Like maybe we were together because out of necessity.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, money gives people choices. I think now for the first time, and that's a good point. It is a midlife crisis. I think now for the first time ever, Kyle could leave Mauricio and not sacrifice in lifestyle. And Mauricio could leave Kyle to have his Maserati in his houses, and they would both be just fine.
I just feel like since Mauricio's show I saw on Netflix, I just see a different side of him. He just seems so much more cocky. Like I've never seen him that long on screen before. So I'm just seeing another side of him. I'm just like, I kind of get what Kyle is saying.
I think Kyle has always been, hey, we're filming, you're my husband. See, he was always playing like Kyle's husband. I'm the supportive husband. This is Kyle's thing. I come into this as an extension of Kyle. I think on Mauricio's show, I think we get to see Mauricio. He's always kind of been a dick. He's always kind of had like a sense of humor. But again, money gives people power, and power does weird things to people. Maybe we're seeing like Mauricio 2.0.
Yeah.
You know.
And we're going to see Kyle 5.0 with this whole, I'm not taking shit from anybody. Date a woman.
Does Kathy know? Does Kathy know? She's not taking shit. Did she tell Kathy? Did she inform Kathy that she is no longer taking shit? I would like to know.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's where the episode ended on that note. And I'm like, okay, we know that they're going through issues, but I don't want it to be a will they or won't they. And I feel like they're already insulting our intelligence so far right now with this. Mm-hmm. I just hope they don't lay it on too thick.
No, I think the episode where they sit down and tell the kids they're separating needs to be like 2 or 3 and move on. Like, I don't want that to be like a mid-season finale. Like, we don't care enough. Just do it and keep it moving. Get to Morgan. That's what I want to see.
So just right quick, you like the cast that we have right now?
Yeah, I like them. They're fine. I think that, again, like the one thing about this cast is they are friends. Mm-hmm. So I think that works in their favor. I do think they could use some chaotic energy.
Yes.
I don't know from where. I know we talked off camera, but I do think that Kim Richards, I would like to see her back with this group. I know it's terrible for her sobriety, but I do think that, especially for those first couple seasons, like she definitely brought out a side of Kyle that kind of made Kyle work a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like Kyle's been kind of like running things for the last few years for the most part, but you could never run Kim Richards. Like Kim Richards had Kyle on her toes. Brandy going, Kim had Kyle going, Kim had Rinna going. I mean, I think we owe a lot to the house of Kim Richards. So if not Kim Richards for sake of her sobriety, I would like to see somebody come back with as chaotic of energy. Because I think that's what these girls need. They know what to expect.
Yeah.
Like they know each other so well, it's almost predictable.
But yeah, personally, like this cast, I mean, it's fine. I mean, we shall see, with the new girl ads. I mean, the ratings are promising,
they're
right?
Great. Yeah, they're great.
Million out the gate. So
hopefully they hold. I don't think that we're gonna get a scandalous season. Like I think it's gonna be like a very dramatic, emotional, kind of like New York. It's very emotional, very dramatic. Mm-hmm. We had like little friend flare-ups here and there, but like there was no like dramatic event that kind of anchored the season. There have been like very little leaks from the season, so I don't know what to expect. Rinna's gone.
What happened?
I said Rinna's gone, so I mean nothing too crazy.
I didn't want Rinna to leave, but I knew I was in the minority.
Rinna's good TV. Rinna's good TV, and I feel like we didn't get closure in that situation. I feel like I would have loved to have seen Rinna not necessarily redeem herself, but deal with herself, and like deal with the fallout. Like, what does that look like with her and Kyle? What does that look like with her in the group? I think she'll be back.
Well, I have 2 predictions. For Lisa Rinna, I think they're going to put her on a girls' trip.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They have to. They have to.
Right. She's going to take the money too. And then they're probably going to ease her back after, if just depending on how the girls' trip go. My other prediction for the show is this is going to be Erica Jane redemption season. So if you don't like Erica Jane, you're going to be frustrated and rolling your eyes every episode like me.
Yeah, and she's back to work, and I think she has a spinoff, so they're definitely going to like alley-oop that.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, well, they haven't confirmed it, but I mean, it only makes sense. If Portia can do it for 3 episodes, I'm sure Erica can do it for 3 episodes.
Okay. Speaking of Atlanta, do you have any tea to share on Atlanta?
Ooh, let's see. The last thing we put, I'm trying not to bite myself in the foot, was that they're trying to recast the whole thing. They've been casting. Normally after the reunion airs, pickup letters go out.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, last I heard, it was a few weeks after the reunion had aired, pickup letters still hadn't gone out.
Do you think there's going to be an announcement at BravoCon?
I would not be surprised if there was an announcement at BravoCon. But it's also weird to me because I don't know how the network expects these girls to show up and perform knowing that they don't have jobs.
Mm.
That's a very weird position for me. But the fact still remains, production is casting. Like everybody, it's not a secret. Everybody knows it now. Like there, a bunch of conversations have been had. Like it's not like this. Will they or won't they? No, like they're actively trying to. I don't know. I mean, I hope they find them. Like they want to find them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here for the. Here's the thing. Like, I'm here for the redo. The idea of a fresh Atlanta, I think sounds great, right?
Yeah.
But the fact is, they've had such issues casting in Atlanta for so long, trying to fit in this established group, that I think the only way to cast new ladies is to get rid of them all. People wanted like a Miami style reboot, but it's hard to find the chemistry with a Miami style reboot with just the girls in Atlanta. It's hard. And then I will say, I guess I don't know when this is going to come out. Will it be out before Potomac?
Yeah, because it premieres November.
The 5th, I think.
Yeah. It premieres
Yeah.
BravoCon.
Well, what I'll say about that is the entire first episode of Potomac is the Robin Dixon show. And I think that we're going to see a different Robin this season. And I will say that everything that you have ever wanted to say or someone to say to Robin, or, if you ever wanted to shake Robin and cuss her out and call her dumb, I
Mm-hmm.
think you'll be very satisfied with the first episode. I
Okay.
think I think you'll be happy.
Okay. And
Yeah,
lastly, before you go,
for
I'm
sure.
sure you heard about the Candace tea, what's been going on.
Oh, yeah. You know what here?
Did y'all even
What?
acknowledge that?
No,
Okay.
no, because two things are happening here. Tasha can't be lying. Our sources are terrible. That's number one. And number two, even if it is true, Candace and Chris aren't going to let that go down like that. They are going to put on the most united front they possibly can because of everything that's transpired. That's just who Candace is. So there's really no point until they do. Do I think Chris is cheating on Candace actively? No. Do I think Chris has cheated on Candace throughout the duration of their relationship? Yes, I do. I don't think that this lady is one of the women that Chris actually cheated with, but that does not mean that Chris has not cheated. And that's out of just what I see on
Mm-hmm.
the TV. Nothing more. I don't have any like insider knowledge into their relationship, but I look at her and I look at him and I look at how he talks to her and I look at the fact that he's some 40-something-year-old white man working, in the night. It don't make sense. So just personal thoughts. I could be completely wrong.
The truth will come out sooner or later.
And he has how many ex-wives?
Candace's
Four?
number 3, I think.
Yeah. That to me screams character flaw. So, but if she's happy, more power to her.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for that premiere. But yeah, yo, that was the end of the episode.
Woo-woo.
Thank you, Denver. You
No, thank you for having me.
thank
No,
you.
for sure. No, for sure. I'm happy to be here. I'm very happy to be here. Happy we could do this finally. Happy you're doing this.
Thank you. I appreciate
For
that.
sure.
If the people want to follow you and your opinions, like
Yes. You can find me on Twitter at DNVRSN. It's Denver Sean with no vowels. And Instagram at just.denver. And you can always find me on loveyou'sgot.com, just writing about random celebrities and housewives and a bunch of other stuff.
oh, I do love y'all's shady captions sometimes. I was like, Denver did that.
Sometimes, most of the time. Yeah. I mean, listen, I have fun. It's been
Yeah.
10 years, so I have to keep it fresh. It has to be fun for me, you
Yeah.
know. But we like to we I mean we like to stay on the positive side of things, but sometimes you just can't help it. Like you can only be so positive about bullshit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So with that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and share. And I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.